Did you know that in the US, Americans rack up an average of $1,300 of credit card debt over the holiday season? And that starts over Black Friday. And it's not just America. My fellow Canadians, we are not any better. In 2022, a survey showed that 51% of Canadians who shopped during the holiday season racked up credit card debt, and 25% of those people were still paying off that debt into the following year. And I can relate. I used to be a full-blown shopaholic and in over $120,000 of student loan debt that I couldn't get out from underneath of because of my compulsive shopping habits and my inability to resist shopping these sales. I couldn't say no to a good deal. Today, I'm completely debt-free, and I feel like I've really matured and transformed my relationship when it comes to money, shopping, and especially the pressure of shopping sales. So in this video, I want to talk to you about 5 tips to survive Black Friday and avoid going broke this sales season. And if you want even more help in this department outside of this video, I wrote a journal all about this. It's called the Minimalist-ish Journal, your guide to buy less, live better, and find more joy in what you already have. It's available for pre-order now, and I'll leave it linked down below if you're interested. I wanted to sit down and do this video quickly because I'm starting to feel the pressure of Black Friday sales. And I'm going to be honest, I am not against a sale. What I am against is us going broke for it and really putting a lot of financial pressure on ourselves in the name of a good deal. Believe me, I want you to save money. Things are expensive these days, and if anything, they're only getting more expensive, so a sale always seems like the best time to shop. But there's a lot of psychological tactics that can really get the better of us, and I want you to be able to stay on top of those things, and I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for how much more in control we can actually feel during this sale frenzy. So let's get into it. Tip number 1 is to have something in mind. I bet you thought I was going to tell you to avoid shopping the sales altogether. And you know what? Honestly, ignorance is bliss. Abstinence and opting out of something is, you will save 100% of the money that you won't spend. But a lot of us are planning on shopping these sales, whether it be for yourself, to stock up on things you already use, or for gifts. There's going to be a lot of stuff in your face vying for your attention. And what that's doing is really banking on you getting distracted. If you know what it is you want in mind, if you keep a wish list or a simple shopping list and just stick to that, stay hyper-focused on exactly what it is you need and don't veer off of it. If you're able to maintain that boundary, then I think you're going to come out of the sale actually feeling like you got a good deal. But it's those little impulses and, oh, what about me? And this is such a great deal and 2 for 1 and BOGO. Do your best to focus on what it is you came for, get in and get out. Number 2 is to set a budget. A lot of people's eyes tend to glaze over whenever I mention a budget, but I can tell you with certainty that budgeting completely changed my life. And that is for the simple fact that it gave me a sense of awareness and control over my money. I learned exactly where it was going, how much, and I was able to even reflect on why it was going there. I think a lot of us assume that budgeting will immediately put you into a scarcity mindset, making you feel like you don't have enough. But whenever I write my budget, it actually makes me feel like I have flexibility and the ability to buy what it is I want, because I'm giving that money a job to do and planning ahead for it. A budget is simply telling your money where to go and by how much. And if you write out your shopping list, your wish list, and think ahead about how much money you're planning on spending, then it kind of gives you the freedom to be able to do that. That money is allocated for, you become much more intentional about that amount. And if anything, it can start feeling far less restrictive than if you were just to say, no, my shopping budget this month is absolutely 0. If you tell your money where to go ahead of time, including towards sales, then you're going to feel a lot better about that spending. Because the other thing I found, especially when I tried to really reduce my spending drastically and basically took an all or nothing approach with it, all or nothing often turned into a whole lot of nothing for me, as in a whole lot of saving nothing and overspending, because I would almost rebel against myself and be like, don't tell me what to do. And then I would inevitably end up overspending in that category, feeling like I failed, and then blowing that budget even further. Whereas if I just set a realistic budget in that category from the get-go, then I would just start to feel like I had a lot more freedom with that, a lot more flexibility. And oftentimes I would even end up spending less than what I allocated for because I gave myself the option to do that. So rather than going all or none in your budget, set a little bit if you can. That way you're going to feel a lot less restricted and more likely to stick to it. Number 3 is to only buy what it is you actually use. I find it's a nice way to actually feel like you benefited from a sale because you are saving some money on things that you would have otherwise spent full price on. One of my main shopping rules when it comes to sales or anything is that if I'm not willing to buy this at full price, then I'm definitely not willing to buy it by the time it goes on sale. But don't trick yourself here. I think along with this, it's important to also take an inventory of exactly what it is you have, how much of it you have, and see if you already have a stockpile of backups that you have yet to go through before you go ahead and decide to add even more. The thing about sales is that they feel really hyped and exciting and like they're never going to happen again. But I can guarantee you that, if you're in Canada, you have Boxing Day coming up. A lot of the sales, even in January, are better than they are over Black Friday. So you're really not missing anything. Really avoid giving into that FOMO because especially if you use something regularly, guaranteed that sometime later in the year, January, July, back to school, whatever, it's going to go on sale again. So you're really not missing out. Number 4 is to create a fake cart. When it comes to a sale or shopping in general, it's often not the thing you want. It's just the sense that you got a good deal. So when it comes to that dopamine hit that you're seeking with shopping, it's really the hunting aspect of it, not so much even the gathering. Because once that thing arrives at your door, it's fun to open up the box and be like, got something new. Then you kind of move on to the next thing and on the cycle goes. So if it was really the thing that you wanted, we'd all probably be pretty satisfied with what we already have and we wouldn't feel that constant urge to continue buying. So a nice way to kind of get that little dopamine hit without actually spending any money is to just fill up your cart, fill up your online shopping cart with everything that you see that you want, and then ghost it. Exit out, do not hit checkout, maybe take a look at the total and see how much you would be spending, and then bail on the cart. I can't tell you how much I do this, and then by the time I go back to the shopping cart, I forgot I even wanted that thing to begin with. It's kind of another version of keeping a wish list, but this I find implements that feeling that you did something. It's kind of that productivity aspect that a lot of us are seeking when it comes to shopping, because a lot of us shop because we're bored. Hard truth. So doing this can be a nice wake-up call to see how almost frenzied this whole shopping experience can be. And it's a nice reminder to yourself that you probably didn't really want that thing in the first place. But also just make sure to ignore those forgot something emails that come into your inbox as a result of this, because that is always a risk. And tip number 5 is to take a physical inventory of what you already have. This might not apply so much when it comes to shopping for gifts, but it definitely applies when you're shopping for yourself. It's so easy to forget about everything you already own when you're caught up in all the new and shiny things for, a whopping 15% off. Which is kind of hilarious. I feel like the Black Friday deals used to be a lot better. And actually, I saw something that a lot of brands actually inflate their prices ahead of Black Friday and then apply a discount so it looks like the item's actually discounted, but really you're just paying what the price is throughout the rest of the year. So, keep track of what it is you have your eye on. But ultimately, I think a lot of us tend to shop within our own taste. We kind of know what it is we like. We can tend to gravitate towards similar things. If I see like a really cool black blazer, because I love blazers, I'm a blazer girly through and through, I can find all different ways to convince myself that like this one's slightly different and this one has a cool shoulder pad. But when I see those things, getting up and physically going to my wardrobe, grabbing the jacket and pulling it out of my closet, touching it, feeling it, trying it on, it immediately flips a switch in my brain and helps me kind of tell myself, no, I already have this. And also what physically going to your closet, to your makeup stash, to your skincare stash, anything that you're planning on buying, physically going through those things with your hands, with your eyes, it can also turn on the cascade of, okay, do I have room for this? Where am I going to put this? How am I going to take care of it? Do I have to get rid of anything before I let this new thing in? It kind of unlocks the sometimes burden of physical things that we bring into our space that we don't necessarily think about up front when we buy it. The truth is, when it comes to buying stuff, there's often a greater cost to them than just the price that you pay up front. But reminding myself of what I already own, especially physically, has been such a game changer in really minimizing the amount of duplicates that I buy and really helps me kind of let go of the allure of that piece and the fact that I'm probably buying it just because it's on sale. So those are my 5 really quick tips to avoid going broke this Black Friday and feeling like you actually got a good deal. I think if you go into the sale season feeling calm and prepared, then it's really going to help you stay focused and keep more money in your wallet at the end of the day. So if you want even more tips and tricks on how you can change your relationship with your shopping, your money, and yourself, you can hit this playlist right here. These are some of my best videos on how to do that. And if you want a more analog version of all of that, then you can pre-order my journal. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy shopping.